The following episode may contain sensitive content. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome
I don't know.
to. Hey, I love it. You know, it's just part of who we are. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show. Must go on.
I'm Tracey.
And I'm Nikki, and we're here to judge.
Should I just sing everything?
Yes.
No, that'd be
Yes.
No. Oh my God, no.
You're so good, though. You're such a good singer. You say no, but listeners, she is very, very good.
No, but that's just
very, very good.
That would be so annoying. Imagine.
Can you imagine the whole episode? You just singing every sentence that you say.
Like Hamilton, like you just start rapping about how you feel about things.
Oh God, that would be the end of me. You remember that one time? That one time we played. Yeah. What was the name of that game?
We were playing Kings.
We did play Kings.
Right.
Yes, it was Kings.
One of them is you have to
Is a bust a rhyme.
Right. So we're going around and it was like the word car or something. Like I'm going in a car, heading to a bar, feeling like a rock star, and then it came to Nikki.
And then I said something that had no rhyme to it. But let's just point out that was oh God, this is embarrassing. That was like 13 years ago.
Exactly. Yes.
So I don't think although people were already telling me that I had that my English was so much better, it was not even near to what it is today.
I mean, yes, it has
because I think if I played today, I would be definitely better.
Oh, yeah. You'd kill it.
But it was also a drinking game, and I was kind of drunk,
right?
You know,
hey,
and
don't be embarrassed.
That was hilarious.
It was.
I'm not.
Yeah, no, it was really fun. I think anybody could have messed up, so no shade.
That was such a good trip. That was a very, very good trip.
That was a lot of fun.
Oh my God. We had breakfast with watermelons and rum.
Oh,
what the fuck were we thinking? We were 24, 25.
I was thinking about getting fucked up.
Yep. You're like, 11 a.m., give me that watermelon with rum.
Yeah. It literally was like a
God.
bottle jammed into a watermelon. Yes. Wow. Can't do that today. I'm so glad we did it then.
No.
Not now.
Yes. Children, take notes.
Yeah.
You cannot do this as you get older. You can only do it when you're young.
Yeah. So get fucked up while you're younger.
Yes, please. Not now.
But make sure you're at least of age.
Right. If you're in the DR, because I know we do have a few listeners in the DR and in Europe, after 18, you're good to go. Here in the U.S., after 21, sadly. Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. Play all the games. We're still playing games as we get older, but we just can't drink the way that we used to.
More casual drinking, for sure.
Exactly.
But
I mean, the moment I feel out of control, I'm like, I need to stop.
Yeah. Well, you know me. I like to start not feeling
frontal lobe development.
And then me, I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna barf.
Oh my God. Nobody give tequila to Tracey.
Oh, I will die.
Game over.
Down.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I wanted to tell you that I started watching Paradise last week and I finished it 2 days ago.
It got renewed for a second season.
I saw that it got renewed for a second, and thank God it did. Because
huge cliffhanger.
Tracey, well, yes, but it's such a good show. It is a very, very good. I really did notice what your mom was looking for. Jennifer DeSalva. We did see that. We did see that
all
scene.
types of buns.
They were anaconda style there, right on our faces. But oh my God, I love a good end of the world movie series. I love that shit. I love that type of story. But this one is very, very interesting. I don't want to give it away because I if you haven't watched it, chances are you'll watch it before season 2 comes out, because it's very, very well done, good storyline, great actors. I love it. I cannot wait for them. And it's only 8 episodes. I was like, these fuckers.
I know.
But I'm sure it's a big budget, so that's why it's not that many. And it's season 1, so they're testing it out, see if people like it. Right. But yeah, 2 thumbs up from me. I definitely recommend that show. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you'll be happy to know.
Add it to your list.
I was going to say, you'll be happy to know that I'm all caught up on The Pit.
Yes.
I binged it. Like, it's really good.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm so glad it's catching on.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it.
It's a very, very good show. And isn't it so, like, because I can't really remember Noah Wile's character in ER. I can't really remember how it was played out, but he was really young, his character, and he was, as an actor, also very young. But I don't think his character had that many layers, right, compared to now in this show, which is quote unquote slower because it's basically a shift, versus in the ER it's just like, chaotic. It's every day. It's not like one moment. But isn't it just feels so different, like it's still a show about the emergency room, but they're so different. So yeah, I'm so glad you're watching it. It's very good. And there's still like 4 more episodes.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Which is,
I want more.
I'm really, really pumped. I know. Yeah. I was like, wait, no, why don't you give me like 22 episodes the way it used to be?
I know, and like the most recent episode too, the way that they left it, I was like, oh
my God. Did you see the preview for the next one?
No. I sometimes I don't like watching them, because then it makes me even more upset that I like can't watch the next episode. So we left it, but I'm very excited.
One more day, one day more. You'll get it tomorrow. And there's no more Traitors. Traitors is over. I know. We're very, very glad Brittany got Danielle kicked out. Thank goodness. And I'm just very glad about those winners.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Just as long as Danielle didn't get it.
Exactly. And we had, the number 1 in the show, who was Dylan Efron, doing the most the whole time, because he was very, he was a really good player.
He was into it.
I feel like.
He was definitely trying.
He was into it, but he was also, it's strategic. Like, he was paying attention, Because I feel like from the beginning, he was calling out people that were actual traitors. Yeah. So I was like, how does he know so fast?
Yeah. Like, he was really there to play the game. Because it's like some people, like Dolores, playing her own game.
I would have seen that. She really did play her own game. All those TikToks making fun of her were hilarious too. The one that is like, I'm voting for the sound engineer. I was like, that is perfection, because she was so clueless. But I also feel like her cluelessness was what got her to the end.
Right. Because I think, like...
Because they were like, she has no idea who the fuck is the traitor.
Because I think in the beginning a little bit, they were wary of her because she's a housewife. But then I think, like, after the rest of them got kicked off, then they sort of were like, oh, no, never mind.
Yeah.
And they turned their attention to other people. So she just was like, I'm in it.
Yep.
Tom.
Yep. I love that. Oh God, so good. But yeah, that's I'm trying to think if I watched anything else aside of what we're discussing today. I don't think I did.
Well, anybody who's into Marvel, the new season of Daredevil is on Disney Plus. So it's Daredevil Born Again.
Okay.
So it's episode 3. Just came out today. It's on Wednesdays. So if you're into it, I love Daredevil. I'm so happy that Charlie Cox is playing him again because it was originally on Netflix.
Oh, that's right. And then Disney just pull it.
Disney took it over. So they have this new season with him, and I'm into it. I love it.
Okay. Oh, and talking about like stuff. So talking about shows. Hacks comes out.
Oh, yay!
Talking about stuff. Hacks comes out next month.
I'm so excited
that we watched it recently.
Yeah.
That we didn't have to wait a whole year, but we're fucked after season 4 because we're gonna have to wait. I'm sure they're gonna do another season after that. Yeah. And then I don't know if you watched this, but I think I did tell you last year, but I do watch The Valley. And which is some of the people that were in Vanderpump Rules that moved to The Valley. So I know it's not a series; it's a reality show.
Okay, that's why
I saw it on your face. You were thinking like, what show is this? I'm like, no, it's a reality show.
I know. I'm thinking it's like a drama, like scripted.
Fucking crap TV.
We need some of that.
That it's so good.
So,
yes.
You know.
So it comes out that same week that Hacks comes out. So I'm just
busy.
Really looking forward to that second week of April. Nobody called me.
Okay.
I'm gonna be very, very busy.
Yes.
But it's so good. It's so good. It's very, very good. Okay. And that's the season before they left us hanging too because separation happened in one of the couples and that all came out on the news. There's also they didn't even do a reunion because it was that bad.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I'm very excited.
Wow, the tea is hot.
The tea is hot and I cannot wait for them to continue to tell us what the tea is about.
I love it. I'm excited for you.
Right. Well, talking about real life right now, today we are actually discussing a documentary that is on Hulu.
Yes.
And I just gotta say right off the bat before we go for it, I am a little traumatized by it.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
You know, it's very, very, very fucked up. Okay, so, I mean, we already said Hulu, so I'm sure they already know what we're talking about. We're talking about the new documentary. This is a story that most of you already know. Is Devil in the Family, The Fall of Ruby Franke. And it actually premiered February 27th. 2025. So basically, if you're listening to this right now, a month ago. And oh God, I remember this coming out in the news.
Yes.
But I didn't think it was this bad. I had no idea. I mean, I knew that she was abusing her children, and that is awful. But I didn't know how fucking bad. What I understood is that she was utilizing them for content. I didn't know how deeper this was. Right. So I'm a little bit. I'm very, like, kind of traumatized, and also the twists and turns throughout it. What did you think about it, Trace?
I had no idea who Ruby Franke was. Like zero, because I'm not Mormon. I don't follow people in the Mormon or like LDS church community. I'm not a mom, so I'm not watching mom vloggers, like.
I know. I also, when that, now that you're saying that, when it came out on the news that everyone was like, oh my God. I was like, I had no idea who she was.
That's the first time I'd heard.
I only found out who she was through the news when that happened.
Right, exactly. So like all of this was like totally new to me. I had no idea any of this was going on, which is crazy and sad because how many more cases are probably like this, personally.
Oh God. Well, I just want to put out there, since we're discussing the documentary, but basically what we're gonna go into is what the fuck happened. I just want to say it was very well directed. I'm so glad we got to see the dad and the older siblings, and I'm also very glad that they are protecting the older children's identities, because that is, these kids have already enough trauma.
Right.
They do not need anything else. I really hope they are very far away in a different land where nobody knows who they are, where they can get a fresh start, lots of therapy, and a new life for them.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this fucking psychopath. Ruby Franke, first of all, when they talked about the amount of money that they were making through YouTube, my jaw was on the floor. Because, they said at the beginning, oh, you get this one check for like $20 or, for like
$85. Okay.
85.
Yeah, that's good.
And then they start increasing to the hundreds and then the thousands. But when they said $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
For filming your family, basically, I mean,
no wonder she got addicted.
No, yeah. Yes.
Like, you get addicted to the money and then a certain lifestyle, because then they end up moving to a gorgeous home, bigger home for their family, like going on all these expensive vacations.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, I get it, but wow.
Wow is right. So they, and also as typical Mormon families, they have 6 children. That's so many. Oh my gosh. Thank goodness they were making money, because that way they can pay for school when the kids go to school.
I mean,
but the money went to the wrong people, because she was a fucking psychopath.
I mean, the husband he was a professor, so it's like, I'm sure he had a pretty good job. He's doing pretty well. She's a stay-at-home mom, taking care of the kids.
Dude, having children is expensive, though.
It fucking is. That's why I don't have any.
6 of them?
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm not saying anything.
I don't even want to know.
But that's how it is in the Mormon community. Like, they have a lot of kids. So I don't know what they do, if they make it work, if there's something within the church that it's like, helps
it's basically
them.
to make the community bigger, to make the religion like more, for more people to, which is so, oh God.
Literally.
I have so many comments about that, but Wait, I forgot to tell you before. I did watch a movie. I watched a movie with Hugh Grant that it's on Peacock. Is Heretic?
Oh, Heretic. I saw that it's on there now. Heretic. I need to watch it.
It is very, very good. He does a great job. Yeah. And that just reminded me of it, because the 2 girls, they are Mormon girls in the movie.
Right.
I'm not gonna say anything else.
Yeah, that's all I know.
It's 100%. If you like, because it's a thriller. If you like a good thriller, very, very, very good. Yeah. Really, really well done. It kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Okay. I need to watch it.
And, you know, they do talk about this. They talk about the whole, you know, oh, it's to make sure, you know, we are expanding the religion. You know, you want more people to know about the religion. So I think that's why they have so many kids, because they want to make the religion bigger and bigger, you know. So she did that YouTube channel for like almost 10 years.
Because I think like the first video is when she's pregnant with the youngest, and they're cutting into the cake to see what the gender is going to be. And that kid now is like 10, 11, 12 years old. So
exactly. So it's like almost 10 years. You see through the documentary, they kind of shows them growing on social media, and we see how she, aside of being the most narcissistic person ever, she becomes very obsessed with, you know, making sure they look like the perfect family.
Image. It's all about image.
It was so important for her. And
can you smile? Can you like contribute to this conversation? It's your channel.
I love that.
You talk.
Yes, thank you. It's also like, don't do that to kids.
Yeah. Or the husband. She would like berate him and be like, I need you to talk.
I'm sorry. That husband, very submissive.
Yes.
Very submissive. Yeah. Because I would have been like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
You know? But he started seeing the money. So
she had her list of things.
Yes. My thing was that when people do documentaries about this kind of cases, we often don't get all of the information because, you know, families are trying to protect themselves, protect their kids. But I love that the family was like, take all the footage that we have, because we see her go from happy-go-lucky to psychopath in half a second.
So fast.
Even in the beginning, like when they start the documentary, it's just her talking about some fucking markers. I don't even know what she was
Marbles
saying.
in a jar and scheduling.
Some shit like that. And she's like so happy, and then she like snaps and screams, and she's saying, can you guys let me do this fucking video?
I'm videoing! Yeah.
And I was shocked. I was not expecting that to be, you know, in it, but I'm very glad it was there, because I wanted to see, you know, her flips.
Right.
Big time.
Because this also, I mean, I think this just goes, obviously, this is nothing new. This shows so much of social media even now, where it's like everyone's going to put their best foot forward, their best face forward on social media and let people see what they want you to see and how they want to be portrayed. You know, a lot of the times you're not going to see all the ugliness and the nitty gritty, you know?
Yeah.
Which is like, but that's reality. Like, you want to see these things. Like, no one is a perfect family.
No.
That's why it's like, how did she think that this would work? But again, Mormonism. I think it's like the pressure.
True. I mean, isn't this the number one religion about cults? So I think that's also says a lot about it. Let's dive into the fact that she was there at some point through their fucking journey. She is saying that her oldest son Chad needs, you know, this therapy, and, you know, because he's not being a good listener.
He got suspended from school, which is like, I'm sorry, that is really hard to do, to get suspended from school. So for him to do that, there's issues in the home. And she's not taking accountability. Yes. She's not taking responsibility and saying, oh my God, maybe what I'm doing to my child is affecting them. He was screaming out to her 100%. And telling her, I don't want to do this. I don't know what you want from me. I'm not interested. Put a smile on your face and suck it up.
Yeah. it just shows you how narcissistic she is, or was. Who knows how she's doing right now. I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, because the moment this happens is when she meets what's her name,
Jody Hildebrandt.
Jody. That's when she meets Jody, and who is a pathological liar, because she's saying she's a therapist. The girl did not go to school for psychology. She does not have a degree. She
doesn't have a license.
Super religious as well, and she has a YouTube channel too, or a social media platform that basically gets her clients. It's just very upsetting how they always prey on the most vulnerable people. You can tell that Ruby Franke, I wish they would tell us how her childhood was, because I really don't know. For her to be so, I want to say she has an addictive personality, because she became addicted to the YouTube thing, and then she's like, oh, now I'm addicted to, making sure my son is just getting quote unquote the help in her head he needs. Then she kind of becomes addicted to Jody, and she's a lesbian too, I guess.
Here's my thing. So it's like, you have someone with a toxic personality who then meets someone else who has a toxic, manipulative personality. It's disaster.
Hand in hand.
Yeah. Like the worst.
And let me tell you, I want to say this too, because this is my opinion about Jody. Jody is trying to fulfill a hole that is basically, the hole that she wants to fulfill is that she has not been okay with being a lesbian.
Right. Yes. Because of her religion.
So because she's, exactly, because of her religion, because of the way, she was like raised, or, when she joined, it's not allowed. That satisfaction of probably being out of, I don't know how it feels, but like being out of the closet, and like loving someone openly in front of everyone. She has a hole there because she can't do that. So she has to find a way to fill that out. When the daughter, when Ruby Franke's daughter, the oldest daughter, said that she went in that room, Sherry, and there was like oil.
And the candles.
My heart broke for her, because it doesn't matter what age you are. Nobody in the world needs to see one of their parents or both of their parents fucking, or any sign that they're having sex. Not only that, it's like you find that out, that not only that she's having sex with someone else that's not your dad.
Right. And also a woman.
Oh, and you also discover that she is gay.
Right. Yeah.
So
what a mind fuck. My God.
I know. Like, there's no amount of therapy that's gonna fix that.
Yeah.
And that was by accident. That's like without the abuse.
Right. She just came home from college just to grab something. She was like, I'm just here to get my binder or whatever,
Whatever it is. I left some paperwork for school.
Right.
And then she goes in and it's
yeah.
Oh my God.
Because that's the thing too, is that Jody, she does one-on-one, but she also does like marriage counseling and stuff, but then she starts doing like group, so like women and then men, and it's basically like hating on men. And I think part of that is because she's so upset with the fact that she can't be out
who she is.
Yeah.
And the moment the moment they show how she was talking about men, and even in the, you know, when she started doing the seminars, you know, and having people sign up and making all that fucking money, because I'm sorry, did you see her house? For herself, like nobody else. The girly pop was stealing from everyone. And she, you know, she's talking in the seminar about, you know, men and, you know, loss, and that the fact that they would never have sex by making love. Like, that's not what they want. You know, it's all lost. It's all lost. The manipulation was right away. I was like, cult.
Yeah.
Right away.
And here
yeah,
sorry, here's my thing. I like never feel sorry for men, especially white men. but I
did feel sorry for Ruby Franke's husband.
Yes, I actually did feel like sympathy towards him. I was like, oh my gosh, this poor guy.
Yeah. It's also I get what you're saying. I didn't feel bad for him later on, because I was like, you're a piece of shit. You're leaving your children because this lady is a fucking psychopath. Like, you're leaving them with somebody that you know that could probably hurt them.
I mean, he's brainwashed. He's been beaten down so much. Basically, someone telling you that you're trash and you need to go fix yourself because your family's probably never going to love you.
I had to, like, train my brain to know that these people, I swear to God, are not exposed to the amount of information that you and I are exposed, or like anyone else in normal. That's not
their reality, you know, is distorted.
It's so different. You know, I'm sure they're not listening to a true crime podcast. You know, I'm sure they're not watching documentaries. It's a very, very different world than ours. So I had to tell myself that constantly, because I'm like, how do you not see the signs?
They're not exposed to the same things, because they can't, like, they don't watch rated R movies. They don't drink coffee. They don't drink alcohol. Like, it's so crazy. I've seen these videos on TikTok of this guy who's at like BYU, which is Brigham Young University. It's the big Mormon college. And he'll ask students, would you rather kill a puppy or go to war? Oh, I'd rather start a war. Like, justify your answer. Would you rather kill someone or have a sip of alcohol? Oh, I'd rather kill somebody. Yeah. Like, it doesn't make sense.
It's like engraved in their brains, because what we know about their religion is that they have to live like their highest self, you know, their highest standard, and you know, everything has to be, you know, we don't do this, we don't do that. But let me tell you, if all religions at the end of the day follow the same shit, you know. Yeah. And all we know is that the Jesus that we all know, that they don't think is the one, probably, was a sinner too, you know, and he died for everyone's sin. That's like the whole fucking point. You know. Someone else is taking the blame for all the shit that you do here. So it for me, it just makes no sense, the whole, like, no alcohol, no coffee, no this, because what happens? Cults get created, polygamy starts happening, they're cheating left and right. I mean, I do watch, like, the secret lives of the Mormon wives. The disaster that happened in that mom talk situation. People, swing couples, you know, and it's because you have all these rules.
Well, I mean, the whole thing with, like, the men, too, where it's like they're in this group therapy because the whole thing is, like, they can't watch pornography or masturbate. So it's like when they're on these groups and they say, oh, yeah, I had a weak moment and I watched pornography. And then it's like, oh, God, gross. It's like, okay, depending on the degree of the pornography. But if it's just like, you know, regular man, woman, they're doing a little whatever, okay.
But also, like, who gives a fuck? Like, as long as there are not kids involved, who gives a fuck?
Right, exactly. And, like, they're consenting adults in the video, then, I mean, you know, what person,
Exactly.
most people have seen porn, especially men. It's just,
Exactly.
they have a higher
Exactly.
sex drive, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
it's a normal thing, and they just really make you feel bad about it. My God.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you've seen, there was this show, reality show. We'll get back into this right away, but there was this reality show. I think it was on TLC a long, long time ago, that it was called like My Husband Is Not Gay, and it was Mormon couples.
I know what you're.
You know what I'm talking about? I know what you're talking.
I've seen clips. Yes.
And and it was like, they would say like, oh, he's not gay. He just has like SSA, same sex attraction. Girl, that is being gay.
Should I pull up a dictionary for you? Because tomato, baby. I think it's the same.
Oh my God. And they get interviewed and they're like, yeah, I suffer from SSA.
Right. And they're like,
And then they're like, oh, he like hangs out with his friends, with his guy friends that also offer from SSA. Right. And I'm like,
yep. He's with Steve
are we not connecting the dots here?
They love going to the sauna. I don't know. Yes. They just, they have their moments. They just want to relax. Girl, they're probably...
Wow. Also, the fact that this show was made, just, wow. We were wild at the beginning of 2000. I think it was like late 90s, early 2000s.
I'm here for
People
that.
People were a little bit more... I know, I love it. But they were very ballsy to go on screen and be like, I suffer from SSA. Bro, you're gay.
That's true.
And that's okay.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing. But see, for Mormons, it's
them,
not.
Exactly. Oh my God. Okay, going back to...
that was a good little sidetrack.
Yes.
Though. I love it.
It's just like, if you think about it, all these rules and all this stuff are not letting them be who they really want.
Right, have a fulfilled, happy life. Like a lot of them, because they're suppressing all these things.
Which is living at your highest self.
Right.
Living a happy life, being who you really are. Mm-hmm. But no, we're going to make all these rules, including no coffee and no alcohol. Yeah. But yes to soda. It's very very confusing. Yeah. Going back to psychopath Ruby Franke. So she has her YouTube channel, 8 Passengers, and it does really well. She makes all this money, but while she's doing that, she's already abusing the kids in an emotional way. Because
even physical, because they say
I don't think they showed it a lot, but they did say that she would kind of like slap them or something, because it didn't start as bad. Mm-hmm. I think it just got progressively worse and worse. So they start making a lot of money, but then when they do meet Jody and Jody starts treating Chad, she kind of starts basically like giving them like couples counseling, and I don't know if you noticed it, but they did mention like them as a couple got better.
They were very happy for a while,
very happy, and the whole family too. God knows what she was telling them and the brainwashing.
Right, but also I think because Ruby was so happy because whatever her and
Jody got jealous.
No, because I think just having like Jody in her life and like her saying all this stuff in her ear, and it just maybe eased her off of the pressure from her kids and her husband. Yeah. So they were able to like feel a little weight off of their shoulders. So I think that maybe that's why everybody was so happy, because they didn't feel like they were walking on eggshells around Ruby, because she was feeling very happy with how things were going and having Jody in her life.
That's true. Yes, yeah. And because she was happy, they weren't afraid to talk anymore. Because I feel like when she wasn't happy, they were very scared of what she would do.
Exactly. Like,
yes, that's true. Is
she going to yell at us, hit us?
Yeah, they were very
Make me sleep on a beanbag for 8 months.
For a month.
And he did it,
let's
too.
Let's just talk about
That's
the
how
fact
much he
that
was
she
like...
put that... I know. And then she put that on YouTube. And
that's where shit went downhill.
That's when it started. People started noticing how fucked up her method was. Yeah, it's abuse, but it's because, you know, like, I feel like abuse, you know, happens either in progression or, you know, like moments, you know, like, I slap you, I say awful things to you. But to have your child, like, I there must be a different name. Like, for me, that's not abuse. That's just like something even bigger. To have your child sleep on a beanbag when he has his own room for 8 months, I kept thinking about his poor back. And thank goodness he was a kid.
Yeah.
Because, you know, as we get older, we cannot do that, you know. So, you know, for her to wake up every day and see her kid, like, that's, you have mental issues. For you to get up, see your own kid sleeping, not in their bed, because you chose that. It just, for me, there must be a different word, because abuse is too light for that.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true. I mean, even in the video, she was like, when you guys do something wrong, I always take something away from you, and it's never for a short period of time. And one, I don't know if it was Chad or another kid, was like, yeah, you took my phone away for 6 months. And I was like, what are they doing that's so bad to take it away for 6 months? I could see a week, maybe a month if it was like really, really bad. But even then, like, what are they doing? They're kids.
Yeah, they're babies. Also, that's why I'm so intrigued about what was her childhood like. Because this need to have control in an extreme way, you know, and have a husband that's saying, yeah, that's fine. Like, how you're even controlling your partner.
Yeah.
You know? It's just very... Oh God, I my mind is blown, because there has to be like levels of mental sickness for you to do something like that. They had to get just for the listeners, to get $100,000 a month through YouTube, you need to have around 2.5 million subscribers on your channel.
Wow.
And billion views, which is insane, you know.
Yeah.
I think that amount of money was also feeding her mental state of being crazy and everything needs to be perfect, you know.
Yeah, control, power.
Control, yeah, the greed. If we don't do this, we're not gonna make this money. But then, you know, we see a love story basically develop between Jody and and Ruby. I'm sorry, you saw the video of them in the snow. I was like, this is very gay.
Or when she was on the jet ski, like Ruby sitting behind her, and like the way she's like holding on to her.
Yes.
Listen.
And they're filming this.
I know. I love you, but I would never hold on to you like that. Like...
Ruby did like to hold on to her, but I think Tracey wouldn't hold on to me like that.
No, I'd be
guys.
like on your shoulders, just the fingers right there.
The straps of the bathing suit.
On the life vest, just barely touching. Yeah.
I gotta say, for white people, that was a lot of touching in there. So that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It was, and for Mormon, oh, are you kidding me?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so those videos were very, very obvious. And, you know, the fact that the husband kind of knew what was happening and still chose not to say anything and then be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna leave,
Right.
because you're asking me to.
Oh, but wait.
But I would be like, I'm gonna leave, but I'm gonna take the children with me.
I know. What?
Because if you have a Jody that's possessed.
Thank you. I was going to talk about those possessions where she's like, she's mine.
Okay.
She's mine. That doesn't sound like
so
possession.
tell me,
that just sounds like you saying in a different voice that Ruby is yours.
Okay, so I was going to ask you about that. I wanted to know your thought about this quote unquote possession.
She's fucking fake as shit. That's no possession, please.
No possession, because Chad was, what was he doing? Watching porn, or he made out with a girl or some shit like that?
Yeah.
And that's why there was evil at home, and that's why she was possessed.
Right, and then they had to kick him out, which is like insane.
And the husband.
Right. Yes, because that's what's damaging a family, is your 17-year-old son kissing a girl.
Made out with someone, yeah.
He's 17.
Also, let's talk about the fact that they both move out, but they don't move out together.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. And then, like you said, too,
that was so weird to me.
The dad didn't fight to be like, I'm going to take the kids with me. Maybe they shouldn't be here at all. But listen, at this point, they're so brainwashed that it was like what Jody and Ruby say goes. So they probably said, you, Chad, are on your own. You, Kevin, go this way. The kids are staying here. Sherry's going off to college. And that's that.
It's so I still, it's so weird to me, because I try to keep thinking, okay, you're a lesbian, you're living with your partner at this point. Okay. You got rid of your husband, and you got rid of your two oldest kids. They are the ones that have the most conscious, so you're like, you can be whoever you want to be now.
Right.
But then that's not enough. You have to move out of that place, because you probably still feel like you can't be who you are there, because you're surrounded by neighbors. They know who you are. They know who your husband is, who all of your kids are. So you choose to move somewhere else, which is a little bit more isolated, where you can actually live with your partner happily. But that's also not enough. Because after that, you decide to abuse your kids to a point that you could kill them.
Well, they're demons.
Well, yeah, but it's also like you're already, you're like, yeah, that's what quote unquote she said, but you're living your lesbian world that you wanted. Right. You're fulfilling that. Like, that's what I'm trying to like understand. Yeah. You're fulfilling that hole.
I guess they were obstacles.
But then give the kids away.
I agree with you. 1,000%. So I don't understand.
My God, this poor baby.
I know. I don't understand the rationale. I don't know if it is like this.
Do you think Jody...
Was she the one who fed Ruby that idea? That her kids were possessed and demons? Yes. I do think that Jody was the catalyst for this. That yes, Ruby already had issues. She was abusive to the kids. But I don't think it would have reached this point if it hadn't been for Jody.
Yes. And now that you're saying that, remember how I said earlier that Ruby, this is why I wanted to know her childhood and how it was. She has an addictive personality. So everything she does is to the extreme. Until she gets, so I feel like because of her obsessive and addiction and style of life, or you know how she is, even that, like maybe that's why these kids were getting so abused, because she doesn't know any other way. She doesn't know, and obviously I'm not fucking defending. She's the most awful human being. I'm just trying to understand how that brain works. I think because she said like the demons, and I don't think she does anything like, oh, that's fine. No, she just has to dig and dig and dig until she feels completely satisfied with with the result of something.
Right.
You know,
right.
because of the way she's so obsessive with things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because when she started with like the seminars with Jody,
mm-hmm.
she just started going and supporting her. But then she even changed the name of her own. It's like so extreme, everything.
Oh yeah, when they started doing their duo.
Yeah, like she changed the name of her YouTube channel to whatever the cult name was.
Yeah.
And then, then she also started training, the people that were in the cult.
Mm-hmm.
And then she also started posting videos about, the things that, quote unquote, because she would say stuff in the YouTube videos that people needed to do to their kids.
Mm-hmm.
But what she was doing was fucking it.
Right. And it's
the video of the kid
that
going to the neighbor
broke my heart. What a smart kid, though. To get out.
I'm so proud of him.
Knock on the door, and I love that he was like, "Can I ask you 2 favors? Can you take me to the nearest police station?" Oh, actually, I guess it's just one.
One.
And then he's like, okay, yeah, why? And he's like, personal business. Like, it's like he was so shamed or
polite,
embarrassed that it was like he couldn't even tell him, like, my mom and her lesbian lover are abusing me and my sister. Mm-hmm. Like, he was so polite. That's why I'm like...
And he was so thin.
Oh, my... Both of them. Totally emaciated. I know. Like his shoulder blades jutting out of his back. Like, oh my God.
Yes. And the fact that, like they said, that you could see the tendons of his legs. Oh God, malnourished to the extreme.
Like, they probably wouldn't have lasted much longer. So thank God he escaped.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. It's like everything she did, because we hear about like abusive parents. Well, I guess they're all like that, They
have to be sociopaths.
Yeah, because first, for you to lay a finger on a child,
right.
The first, it's not the 90s anymore, you know. We know better as society that's not how we solve things anymore. But to have your kid go on a desert and just stand there under the sun
with the weights
strapped on their ankles,
or jump on a trampoline for hours, and like you're not going to give them water or food, and then you just go lock them up somewhere.
Yeah, you must be.
Oh, what was it with the like the honey and the cayenne pepper paste to put in their wounds?
The wounds. Yes. Yeah, that's why I'm like, how does it go from being like, say something on camera, from that to that,
Yeah.
Because the progression is insane. Usually when there's like this type of abuse, and I'm just saying usually, I don't fucking know. I don't know the statistic of that. Usually they're able to escape, or, or there's an adult that gets involved and it's like, no, but you have 2 adults over 4 children, and thank goodness the other 2 kids were out of the house at that moment, and God knows what they witnessed to.
Yeah.
We have no idea, and we have no idea what happened to them either, because we didn't see that. Mm-hmm. But the ones that were at home, the babies, to have one in that one room that didn't even want to leave the room. She was that scared.
Yeah.
And the cop just sat there crying. That's how you know it's the sociopath, psychopath. Right. It's all kinds.
Right, because it's just, the physical abuse is horrendous, but then again, the mental and emotional abuse.
And she was writing down everything. That's why I want to know, what the fuck was she, like, girl.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like,
those are your kids.
Jody must have been in her ear about something, because then for her to get so, like, fanatical about, like, my kids are possessed, it's like they're just being kids.
Yeah.
You know, and like she, like we could see
their children,
right? Like we could see Ruby, like, you know, snap at them and maybe get a little physical, but it wasn't that bad until Jody came into the picture. And see, that's what I'm saying. It was like a toxic personality with another toxic, manipulative personality. You get together, and it was a fucking bomb, just waiting to go off.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Disaster.
Yeah. It's because it is true. It got better before it got worse.
Yeah.
That little moment. I
Calm
think the
before
better
the
was
storm.
for her. Yeah, the better was for her to, have them in her hand. Yeah. She works for us. She's helping us. We're so happy. And now she's like, I have them in the palm of my hand. Now I get to do whatever the fuck I want.
I mean, her moving into the house.
Yes,
like, I think that's what it was too, because her house, the devil was there.
And then they end up moving back into the house.
Exactly, which is how you know Jody was full of shit. I love that the husband, Kevin, was like, oh yeah, I took a picture and there was a handprint and it was this much higher than mine. And and the producer's like, oh yeah, you have the picture, and he shows him, and I was like, what the fuck is that? It looks like a smear.
Yeah, like somebody went like that.
Right. So it's like these people are just so brainwashed to believe anything that it's like they say, 2 + 2 = 5. It's, the whole concept of like George Orwellian society with like 1984. 2 + 2 = 5. Mm-hmm. And then you start believing it, even though it's wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's very, very
got in that house,
upsetting.
and that's when it just, because then this was her way to get Chad out of the house, to get Kevin out of the house, and to really take control.
But I just want to say that I was very fucking upset when their oldest daughter called the police.
Yeah.
Like, this could have been it bothers me so much.
And we've seen this before.
Yes, because it's also like you wouldn't have an 18, 19-year-old call on their own siblings, like, just for fun, just to lie. Like, no, that's not a thing, You have the neighbors too saying the same thing. This thing could have been so avoided before those kids got to that, extreme abuse. Like, before they almost died. Like, this could have been stopped way before.
But it is hard, because I feel like if those kids weren't quite malnourished and they hadn't been duct taped and isolated at that point, but they are still being abused, but it's more mental and emotional, how do cops like suss that out and figure it out? And then, like, what do you charge a person with? Like, it is hard with the law. And what I'm saying is the law needs to change.
No, yeah. 100%. But also, that's when you get social workers involved. Like, you do a welfare check every few weeks or once a month. I really don't know.
Hard, because the system, it's like, do we even have the social workers? They're already overloaded with all these cases.
Yeah.
It's hard. I understand, like, it should have been avoided. It could have been avoided. But I think with the red tape, with law and how the system is set up, sometimes it's just too difficult.
I also feel like, 100%. Like, and it's also very messy when it comes to that too, because they probably have to qualify and,
right,
all that stuff. But what really gets me mad is, that oldest child, the older daughter, Sherry was doing what she could, because her fucking dad was being useless, locked away, cannot talk to. If I have a child and my partner tells me you can't talk to them, I have no words, because I would slap them I would slap my partner and be like, are you fucking kidding me? That's my child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the fact that he was able to give them up so easily. And, you know, if I have one kid trying to reach out to me or a neighbor to check on my own fucking kids, how are you not going to make an effort? You know, if the dad would have come, I'm sure he would have noticed what the fuck was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Because those kids were being abused for so long. Now that she didn't have eyes on them,
Mm-hmm.
she was probably doing whatever the fuck she wanted. And the police would have gone in
mm-hmm.
because, you know, that's the dad.
Mm-hmm.
So that video again of the kid in the front porch talking to that family,
mm-hmm.
being like, hey, like, can you call the police, please?
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, I don't know what the fuck is going on in my life because I'm a child and I'm hungry. That's all I know. I'm hungry right now. And my sister is hungry too.
Yeah.
And I'm in physical pain, you know. I'm very upset. The dad upsets me the most because even at the end of the documentary, he still says that he loves her.
Yeah.
That he loves Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
And
we learned a little bit about him, and I think he's a very insecure man. Like, he was a nerd. He's like, I'll always be a nerd. And then finally, like, you have this young woman who you're interested in, and she's also got like 5 or 6 other guys after her. And then you, quote unquote, cheat to become the perfect man so that she will pick you. I mean,
I know, but I just listen. You're right.
Yeah.
What you're saying is correct. I can't speak for the love that people have for their children. I can't speak because I don't have kids. But they always talk about this unconditional love. That there's this, that you would do anything for your kids. Yeah. You know? And like, I think of my parents, you know? And I think of all my friends' parents. And I'm like, they would have never, one of them would have gone to check on them. You know? Mm-hmm. When the other one said, don't fucking talk to them. If you talk to them, that's it. What are you going to do? Are you going to kill my children? You know? Mm-hmm. Are you going to kill me? Because that's the worst case scenario. Right. You know? I don't know. It gets me very fucking mad. Because
I agree.
Just seeing them in that physical state.
Yeah.
Those babies. And knowing that they didn't have to suffer for that long. Mm-hmm. But they did. Because you have a dad that I'll give him the benefit of the dad that was brainwashed. But also I'm like, bro, like those are still your children.
Yeah. You
have 2 kids that you have cut communication completely off of them. And the fact that the 2 older kids, the trauma that those 2 have, because they probably feel some kind of guilt. You know, we couldn't do anything. You know?
Yeah, I would say Sherry.
And like a
little bit more.
Yeah, and they know they couldn't do anything, but I'm sure they're wondering. Mm-hmm. You know, that with that constant wonder of, you know, Sherry doesn't even call her mom.
Well, I thought it was interesting right away when they started interviewing Sherry, and she referred to them as Ruby. and Frank. Like, she doesn't call them mom and dad. Mm-mm. Which, I don't blame her.
I get it, exactly. I'd be so fucking mad. Oh, God.
And then I just...
Well, that's a downer.
I know. And then I just love, real quick, when Ruby calls the husband, and he's like, oh my God, it's been a year, she's calling me, and he gets a boner. Good. And then he's like...
I wanted to punch him through the screen.
Right, and it's like, oh, go pick your kids up at the police station. like no information other than that. So he goes and he's like, I'm here for my kids. And the police are
and
like,
then he stopped believing them.
They're like, okay, well, we're going to have you come in and like sit down and chat. And they're telling him this is what's happened. I love when they're like, they're emaciated. And he was like, what's that? Oh I was like, you're a professor? Come on, dude. I don't know. Maybe if it was just like he didn't know just what was happening at the time. It was just so much information. It was really overwhelming that it just like wasn't connecting.
I would have arrested him for a few years for neglect.
I mean,
listen.
But he wasn't living at that address, and I know,
but you have neighbors. People are reaching out to you, telling you that they're worried.
I know.
You are an adult. They are kids. Not one person reached out to you. Many people. Your own older kids reached out to you, and you fucking blocked them. Mm-hmm. It gets me furious because, we only saw what they showed us. We probably don't know how much more bad it was.
Right.
Physically for those kids.
Oh, gosh.
It's very upsetting. You are their dad. And something that I learned from therapy, as long as they're able to, they will always be our parents. They're always there to help us. We're always their kid. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. As long as they're physically able to help us, they are always our parent. And that motherfucker was physically able to. It upsets me. He gave up his kids right away.
He's just a weak man.
He left the house.
He's just weak.
I know, but when it comes to your kids, you can't. Guys, don't have kids if you're a weak person.
Yeah, I think it was just like, I agree with you. Like, come on, dude, get your shit together. Yeah, but just to like play devil's advocate, and also, it's like,
we don't know the brainwash. We don't know abuse like and that. Like, we have no idea.
Every week he was still doing those Zoom meetings with those guys, and he's just getting beat down and beat down and beat down, and just told how much of a pussy he probably is, and that he's just lustful and a terrible husband and father. You're gonna start to believe those things. So maybe in his mind it was like, well, at least they're with their mother, like she's their support system, like what can I offer them? I'm a weak man, like I can't do anything, I'm a terrible dad. I don't know, that's the only thing I can think of.
No, you're right. That would be the reason. Yeah. That would be the reason why he did not care for them the way he needed to.
Right. I'm sure he's got to have so much guilt, though. Like, yikes.
Like 100%. And, I hope it stays in his heart forever. I'm sorry, God. But I hope it stays in his heart forever. But why does he still love her?
She's like a black widow spider. He's just tangled up in her web.
Do you not see your kids?
I know.
After, when you got them? She did that to them.
He probably thinks it's more Jody.
Yeah, no, he's probably telling himself
that. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So it's like she can be given 100% of the blame, and it wasn't Ruby. She was brainwashed by Jody. So,
God.
But I will say, though, that, we saw at the end that he did file for divorce. So at least I give him credit there that he was like, okay, well, I guess this is over. I need to move on with my life.
Yeah.
So at least there's that.
This is a major bummer of an episode.
So much of a bummer.
But
this is the shit that happens, and it's like.
It happens, but also this, if you see something, say something.
Just like we see on the subway.
A subway, yeah. If you see something, say something. There's a lot of things, crimes that could have been avoided, because you should. I get it. You know, we try not to, you know, be in anybody's business ever. But when you have that feeling that something's not right, trust it.
That's what I was going to say. Or like people get worried that they're going to be wrong. Like, oh my gosh, I just said that this guy was abusing his kids. And then what if he's not? But what if he is?
Yeah.
So it's like, wouldn't you rather just
apologize?
Exactly.
If you have to later.
Right.
Than to not say anything.
Right.
Yeah,
and like the consequences of that, like someone could end up dead or who knows what. So.
Yeah. Wow. I did not look up any of her videos because I did not want to give her any views. I also don't know where all that money went. I really do hope it went to the kids.
I don't know.
Because they were making a lot of money. Oh, honestly, I don't know how it was at the end. But I do hope, you know, that the dad does something about it and, you know, give it to your children because they endured so fucking much.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
pay them back somehow.
Right, because, I mean, the money that they were making was because of those kids. So.
Because of Chad, because he had a lot of girls watching him on YouTube, too.
Yeah.
So, we don't do fun facts on this episode, thank goodness, because there's nothing fun about this. But probably updates and maybe interesting things that we missed.
Yeah. Well, through
the documentary, if you have anything, Trace.
The only thing that I saw, because I was like, what happened to the kids? You know, because they didn't really give any updates about them. So I looked, and they are in Child Protective Services. So I'm sure they're probably in like foster homes. But I did read that what's Kevin? What's the dad's name? What have I been saying?
Oh God, we have not said his name.
Oh my God, I think I called him Frank at one point, but I think it's Kevin.
Is it?
Oh my God, this is terrible.
I do think it's Kevin.
Ruby Franke's husband. He is trying to get custody. So he's
of the kids.
Yeah, so he's been going through the court.
Kevin, you're right.
I called him Frank at one point. Sorry. What the fuck? Okay, Kevin. Sorry.
Is it Frank or Frankie?
Their last name is Frankie.
Okay, Frankie.
Literally. Oh my God. Okay. Kevin is trying to go through the court system and gain custody of the kids, which is like at this point, I mean,
do they even want to be with you? Because if I was a child, I'd be like, hell no.
Yeah. Second of all,
that guy left me.
Yeah. Second of all, like the youngest is probably like 13 at this point. They're cognitive to know that like my dad left me.
Well, I wonder if the oldest kids can. I mean,
that's what I was thinking. Oldest. Like Sherry, and I mean Chad is in his early 20s. Like they could legally adopt their siblings, you know, and become their guardians.
I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, we have no idea the trauma that each one of those kids have.
I know, but at least like they're with someone who's familiar and like
that's true.
I mean, you know that. I mean those. Like Sherry and Chad, like they love their brothers. I mean, especially Sherry, like she wouldn't have called if she didn't give a shit, but she did.
Yeah,
and she wrote a book.
She did.
Sherry wrote a book, like a like a memoir. So she's got to be making some money off of that. So, oh my God, who knows? But
okay, so he's trying to get custody, and I just. I don't wish bad on anybody, but I hope those kids are doing well. I just don't want Kevin to do that well. I'm very mad at him.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to be punishing himself for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I mean, he seems sad, but he seemed more sad about Ruby, not about the kids. That's what bothered me the most.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't see a lot of remorse of I failed them.
Right. I also,
You know?
I don't want to justify it, but sometimes I think it's hard when you're in it too. You know,
That's
like you're
true.
not
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
outside looking, like you're
Like,
in
yeah.
it. And I mean, he was benefiting
Yeah.
from those videos. They're making the money. They're going to Hawaii as a family. They're doing all these things. So it's like
Yeah.
even all the little, her snapping at them and all that, you can just sort of, well, okay, brush it off.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
I get what you mean because, it's very easy to judge from outside, but I just hope those kids are able to overcome all these.
Yeah, I know. I
things,
wish them
know.
nothing but the best. I hope that they get the
Yeah.
help they need and that they'll be happy in their lives, and
Yeah.
they'll probably never talk to their mother again.
No, I did read that her family disassociated completely from her, which makes sense,
And that's embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing, gross.
But she did get 30 years, which actually I feel is kind of high, but
that is very high,
a
but it's
proper
it's
sentence.
4 counts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 4 children.
Right. But I'm just saying, we've
You know?
seen it before with the judicial system where it's like
That is true.
worse things
They're like,
happen.
8 months.
Right. Where like a guy will rape an 8-year-old and he'll get
That
a
is
slap
true.
on the wrist. Like he won't even go to jail. So, I mean,
Yeah.
at least it's like she's getting the right sentence.
Yeah.
She might even die in
Yeah.
prison.
Well, the thing, is that she's very young too. She's like 3 years older than me.
She could get cancer or something in her 60s.
That's true.
That's
true. That is true. Well, that was a bummer.
I
guys.
know, I'm so sorry. But that happens,
But it's reality,
It is.
and it happens. What do we learn today, Trace? If you see something,
Say something. It's true.
And keep fighting the good fight,
Yeah.
man. Do not, these things can be avoided. Definitely. If not completely avoided, at least like half of it could be avoided.
Right.
Also, don't become a Mormon. Because they have this, all the cults are from this fucking religion.
I love though that they were saying that Connections, the like therapy group that Jody
Their
had,
seminar shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
Connections was a cult, and I was like, a cult within a cult. That's crazy.
Exactly.
But
Yep.
it's funny that it's like you have Mormons saying, "Oh yeah, it was a cult," and it's like, okay, but you do realize,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. I just feel like
You do realize you do. Okay,
Just-
okay.
okay.
You connecting. Okay.
Connections
Yeah.
to the fact that you're in a cult, but
Exactly.
I just feel like there's so many things that are coming to light with like social media and like TV shows and documentaries and all these things
That
where
is
it's
true.
like,
The problem is like these people do not watch any of this stuff, because I watched one recently. How I've been watching How I Escaped My Cult.
I just
my
started
cult.
that too.
And
Yeah.
so each episode is a new cult,
Right.
and one of them is it's again a fucking Mormon church.
Yeah.
And the way she was talking about it, this poor girl was like getting raped and all that by their one guy who had 100 million, wives, and they don't have access to any of that, and when they use their phone is to text people, and they are even scared of texting them. So, it's like they kind of live like Amish people a little bit. No access to technology, but that's like the number one thing about cults. They, isolate, because that
Right.
way they don't know any better,
Right. Well,
So
it's just
that's why I always get curious about Scientology because
God.
I'm like all these like celebrities. I'm like, you guys know what a cult is.
Yeah.
You've been exposed to it. Like you've seen it on documentaries.
I mean, look at Elizabeth
But you're
Moss.
in one. Moss, yes.
Like, and she's in Handmaid's Tale, so it's like, girl, you don't see like any parallel. Okay. Nothing.
Exactly. So I'm like, who knows why they make these decisions?
I don't know. But my thing too is like, because there is, sorry, real quick, one tiny little part when Ruby's like out somewhere and this like young kid is like, oh, when I started watching Ruby's videos and she inspired me to join the LDS church.
Oh my God.
See?
No.
So it's like people like that who I'm like, no, don't join. Like, it's one thing if you're born into it.
Also, I'm like, where are your parents?
Well, he was an adult at that point, probably, so he can make his own decisions. But
that's true.
But for the more
I wonder what
common folk,
I wonder what that kid
where he is now
is thinking now. Yeah,
that's a good question. I wonder if he just
that would be
said
hilarious.
that. He just said that for the views. He wasn't really gonna do it.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, he was like, I have to give up coffee. No, thank you.
You think he suffers from SSA?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awful, but it's so true.
That's hilarious.
Well, ending on a good note, guys. If you suffer from SSA, that means you're gay.
Yeah. And just go be gay. Good for you.
And be gay. It's okay.
We're all a little gay.
It's 2025. Like, hello.
Yeah. Who cares?
Oh my God.
We have bigger problems.
Gives a fuck?
The Department of
Yes.
Education is crumbling. Just
exactly.
go be gay.
That is something that fucking matters.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh God.
So,
Jesus.
that's our PSA. Go be gay.
Yes. Go be gay, go be happy.
Yeah.
That being said, rate, review, and subscribe.
Perfect segue.
Rate, review, and subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your gay friends. Also tell your enemies. Tell everyone.
Tell your gay
We're
enemies.
Here for you. Tell the mean gays.
Yeah.
Oh God, they would judge us so hard.
Oh no, don't tell them.
Oh no, don't tell them. Yeah. Oh my God, no. Okay, well that's it, guys.
All right.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks, everybody. Until next time.
Bye.